Sandy, I know we might be stating the obvious. Of course, rise of AI and machine learning has changed the landscape a little bit. It hasn't fundamentally changed everything, but it's definitely sped up the pace at which fraud is actually evolving. And you have an unparalleled vision, I would say, on that ecosystem. You've been watching closely a lot of vendors and been talking to a lot of customers over the past 2 years. So what would strike you as the most impactful evolutions?
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's a really good jumping off point because I've been covering bot management now for 5 years at Forrester. And this is actually the third time I've done a Forrester wave. So I've really gotten to see the evolution of this market. And what's really interesting is that if you go back in time, you had pretty rudimentary responses to bots. A lot of the vendors that were out there, 5 years ago, the options were block, allow, or challenge. It's much more configurable now. There are a whole range of different ways to challenge potential bots, to um, provide honeypots, to provide fake data, to provide all of these ways to get bots to get frustrated and go elsewhere. So the way that we respond to bots has really evolved quite a bit. And that's one thing that's changed quite a bit. The level of policy and just the degree of configurability in that. But to your point on machine learning, yes, a lot of the bots are using AI, but so are all of the bot management vendors, the defenders here. And it's really advanced quite a bit. Again, if you go back a few years, it was much more nascent in the space. And I think all of the vendors a couple of years ago when I evaluated this market were just starting to dip their toe into AI to defend against bots. But now it's advanced to the point where the detection approach is no longer as differentiating. It's really about how vendors are using detection models, what they allow customers to bring themselves in terms of bringing your own models, configuring additional models, feeding your own data in to add additional tagging to models. All of that is what actually stands out now as differences in the detection. So it really has evolved quite a bit. That level of customization, that level of partnership with vendors in terms of detecting new attacks and providing that information to customers, providing threat intel in very much real time. That's something that's really become necessary and critical. And that's been an evolution over the past few years that has become really important, I think, to customers because the attackers have just gotten so smart, and the attackers are always going after that next big thing, whether it is a potential credential stuffing attack, account fraud, whether it is a flash sale that attackers are trying to go after in a very, very condensed time period, whether there is AI scraping, all of these potential attacks that could add value for an attacker. The defenders, the vendors, and the customers together are collaborating in order to have the latest intelligence, detect that, tweak models, customize models, and respond appropriately. To that end, the other thing that I'm actually really happy about in this market, Benjamin, is just how much reporting has improved. And I would say this is true across a lot of the security tools that I cover. Reporting has gotten a lot better. But with bot management in particular, reporting has started to cover a lot more of the business cases and really address the needs of not just your security persona, but your fraud persona or your marketing persona or your executive level persona and provide the relevant level of information for all of those people, which is important given that bots tend to hit a broader audience than a lot of other security types of attacks. So the level of customization in reporting, the level of the visualizations, and just the range of out of the box reporting that addresses all of the different needs is something that I've been really pleased to see.